Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new video and another episode of my F1 2019 career mode here today for round 2 of season 3 for the Bahrain Grand Prix. And today we are here for beautiful conditions all weekend long. No rain expected this weekend, as you'd expect, in the middle of the desert. If you guys missed round 1 or part 1 of season 3, the opener, then go watch it guys by clicking the link in the top right hand corner of your screen. Before we jump into any spoilers, it was a fantastic opening race and definitely worth watching, in my opinion, before jumping into this race, and it's worth getting up to speed. But in terms of this race, we don't have any upgrades on the car, and nobody else does either. So pretty much the pack stays exactly the same as Melbourne, and you can kind of get a better idea of where everybody is now as the chart kind of stabilizes a little bit going into the second race, and we are comfortably the second quickest team behind Red Bull. So overall, a good start to the season in the last episode, winning the race in Australia. Absolutely fantastic, picking up 26 points because we also scored the fastest lap. And, that's good news going into the next couple of races, because Bahrain, China and Baku are 3 races where I'm not very good and the AI are very, very quick. So we are going to be up against it these next couple of races until we get to Spain. So we're going to have to do some damage limitation for the next couple of races. And this weekend at Bahrain, I am using 110% AI. I'm going to try and commit to 110. I might try in China as well, although I'm not so confident around there. But yeah, we're going to try our best and see if we can make it work. And in terms of qualifying, I felt relatively confident. The car was okay. It definitely felt a bit off balance compared to Australia. I couldn't understand why, and I tried a million different setups, but I just couldn't seem to find a balance that really made me feel confident with the car. So yeah, overall we did struggle in practice a little bit. As you saw on the screen a moment ago, we failed the qualifying performance test by quite a way, nearly a second, and also we didn't get a purple score on the tyre management test. So again, tyre wear could be an issue for us this weekend, but other than that, it was still a decent amount of points we put into the R&D points transfer kitty, and we're going to move on into qualifying then and see if we can try and have a decent Saturday evening and hopefully outperform expectations. I think, to be honest with you, if we got Q3, that would be a fantastic achievement, to be honest. So hopefully that is the case and we can try and make it work. But as we jump to Q1, we're going to go for 2 runs in this session underneath the twilight night skies here in Bahrain. And my first run was actually not bad, to be honest. Normally I leave a little bit on the table my first run, or quite a bit, should I say. But this one actually wasn't that bad, and you'll see on screen a moment ago I was the second off after 2 sectors, which isn't that bad. But in the final sector I do lose quite a bit of time, and again, similar to most tracks, the final sector I seem to struggle with. But across the line you'll see now DRS open, and we are going to go P16, so just in the elimination zone, unfortunately for us. So we are going to have to go out again and try to improve. So it's all or nothing on this lap, and we're going to try and give it absolutely everything. So straight away down towards turn 1, looking at the 100-meter board as your reference for heavy braking, and down to first gear here, really try and clip that inside curb, and then quickly on the power, but not too quick, otherwise you'll spin the car out, of course. And then over the curbs on the exit of 2 and 3, and so far nearly 2 turns up here. Very good start to the lap as we go up towards turn 4. You want to brake as the curb appears on the left hand side and throw the car in. I missed the apex slightly there, but we do manage to get a good bit of traction even with some wheel spin. We have managed to keep our advantage and stay a tenth and a half up here, and we're only a fraction down on Verstappen after the first sector, which is my strongest sector of the entire lap. That's towards the hairpin, a little slight lock up on the front right, but we keep it under control, and we're quickly back on the power, and we're now 2.5 tenths up as we go into the tricky 9 and 10 combo here. Very easy to lock up, and as a matter of fact did a lot of lock ups all weekend long, but we get it more or less slowed down with the lock up on the left front, and we're still 2.5 tenths up here as we go into the back straight, and now up towards the next couple of corners here. And I'm going to throw the car into this left-hander, really try and brake late, clip the inside curb and let the car run as wide as you like. Quickly on the power again as we now go through the long right to end sector 2, and now you're looking for your brake point straight away, straight after into this next right-hander. And so far 7 tenths down on Verstappen,
30 seconds left in the session,
and 2.5 tenths up so far isn't that bad. So if we hold this together, I'd be very, very happy as we go towards the final corner here, braking at the 100-meter board and down to third, good to get some extra rotation. Quickly on the power at the final corner, and then wait for the DRS to become available, and that is going to be a lap of Bahrain that's been improved by 2 tenths of a second, and we only move up to P14, but those 2 tenths were quite a lot of time relative to the cars around us, and that lap was good enough to get us into Q2. So overall, a decent Q1. I wasn't expecting to set the world light. I'm clearly going to be slower than Gasly this weekend, so I'm not really too worried about that. I knew I was going to lose to Gasly, straight away, but it's all about, looking at outside of the garage and trying to get into Q3. But currently you can see in Q2, I went out on used rubber for my first run. It's the same pair of tyres I used just to get through to Q2 a moment ago. So we're not too bad, actually. Our first lap is 7 tenths down on my own teammate Pierre Gasly at the moment, who's setting the pace in the other Williams with a 28.4 or 24.4, yeah, 24.4. And we are going to cross the line and go inside a second, 9 tenths off, but P10 on the cusp of getting eliminated, so we have to go out again because we did get pushed down all the way down to P11 actually. So we're on the verge, but I've looked at the gaps. We need to try and find 4/10 of a second to get through. Verstappen, who the car in front of me, is 4/10 ahead, so we need to find 4/10 out of absolutely nothing on fresh rubber. So here we go. We're going to try our best as we go towards turn 1. Big lock up on the front right, but we managed to convert that into a good exit and actually make up for lost time and somehow improve as we open up DRS. As we now go up towards turn number 4, again braking at 100 metre board, and that's the curb appears on the left hand side as a kind of reference. Double lock up on the left and then the right. Both tyres, they're really struggling to get the car slowed down around here all weekend long. And now in towards the kind of twisty section here. Throwing the car in, a 10th down on Gasly through sector 1 at the moment as we go down towards the hairpin at turn 8. Another lock up on the front right, but we quickly get the power and try and get that nice bit of clean traction down towards 9 and 10 again. I'll be surprised if we don't lock up here as we try and get the car rotated, and we actually don't lock up surprisingly. Keep it nice and clean on the entry, quickly on the power, and we're a 10th and a half up, nearly 2 tenths up here on my previous best, using overtake now for the majority of the lap, especially through this final sector as we now go up towards the hill and towards the end of sector 2, quickly on the power again, keeping a nice tight line this time to really minimise time loss and maximise the time gain. As we go towards the end of sector 2, we're 6 tenths down, not too shabby, but we've got one more sector to go. This is where I lose most of my time.
Just 30 seconds left in the session.
So I'm going to give it everything now as we go towards the final corner, braking as the white line appears, down to third, really trying to attack the inside curb and use all the curb on the exit, and we actually find a heap of time there through that final corner, and we're going to improve by nearly 3 tenths, but ultimately it will not be enough. We're only 6 tenths off Gasly's time, but we needed 4.5 tenths to get into the top 10, so overall it is what it is. Verstappen actually improved because he was on mediums and he went onto the soft tyre and got even quicker, so we do fall just short of the final hurdle, and in the end we got knocked out by 2.5 tenths. But overall a decent qualifying session for me, and P11 is the best place to start for me around here because you get the free choice of tyre, which is absolutely critical, and the one stop is so much better than the 2 stop. So overall, in my opinion, I'm not too disappointed with that one, and P11 is probably more or less where I expected to be considering how strong that AI are around here. But with that being said, guys, is in Q3 and we've got a P11, so overall not too bad, and hopefully we can try and convert that into some solid points in the race tomorrow. With that being said, that is it for qualifying here, and we're now going to move into the race for the Bahrain Grand Prix.
The curtain rises once more then on the desert stage of Sakir as the players take their places for the opening act. Will they enthrall us like they did in 2014 with that titanic battle between Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton? Well, we'll find out shortly as we get underway here in Bahrain. We'll be racing around 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit today. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left down into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. And it's an absolute pleasure to be joined once again by Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Renault. We have a number of changes to the aerodynamic regulations this year, and the signs haven't looked good for them so far in terms of getting to grips with those changes.
There are a few downcast looks within the team this weekend. I think they've been hit fairly hard by the new regs. But this is only the first step down a long road of development, and even if they don't maximise their points today, there are plenty more up for grabs this season.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and starting alongside him P2 is Sebastian Vettel. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Bottas, Max Verstappen and Magnussen, Perez, Raikkonen, Russell and Pierre Gasly, Martinez, Sainz, Daniel Ricciardo and Albon, Hülkenberg, Kvyat, Lando Norris and Antonio Giovinazzi. Grosjean and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Right, here we are then on the grid for the Bahrain Grand Prix, starting from 11th place on the grid. Pierre Gasly right in front of us there in P10. Unfortunately for him, it wasn't a good Q3 it seems, and the timing glitch struck once again. You know, when you don't take part in a session, in this case I didn't take part in Q3, that does mean that unfortunately the AI, the pace they run is their default pace on the default game. Therefore, the Williams being the slowest car in the game, or one of the slowest cars, it means it's not going to go that fast. Therefore, Gasly's lap wasn't able to be quick enough to get anywhere near a higher position. So, very unfortunate for Gasly because, you know, again, he's kind of been screwed over a little bit there, but it is what it is. You can't do much about that, unfortunately. But in terms of our own race and our strategy, we do have the free choice of tyre, which is fantastic. My race pace traditionally here is always much stronger than my qualifying pace. We are going to start on the medium tyres. softs, and then we're going to go to the hards. So a very straightforward one-stop strategy, a much quicker strategy than the two-stop around here. And we're going to avoid the soft tyres because they're not very reliable and they're quite prone to overheating. So overall, it should be a straightforward race for us, and it's all about just staying in there, hanging in there, and using that medium tyre in the first end to really, make something happen. And, if we can hang on with the big boys for the first few laps of the mediums and then try to overturn them with the medium, that's going to be the ideal strategy. So let's jump into it and let's see how we get on in this race here for round number 2 of the season for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Right, here we go then. Let's try and get a good start here as we build up the revs for the 5 red lights for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Lights out, and away we go. Picking up quite a bit of wheel spin there. We do manage to go to the inside and cover it, which is good. Gasly down the inside of 2 cars here, Russell and I think it's Sainz in the McLaren. Into turn 2, just going to try and be careful here. We managed to hold on to our 11th place. Ricardo looking for a move behind us, so we're just going to cover the inside. Down the inside of Gasly there, but I'm just going to back out. Hopefully Gasly can make a move, and he does. He goes clean around the outside of George Russell. What a move from Pierre Gasly there. That's what we want to see. I don't want to disrupt Gasly's race. He's on the back foot. He's on the soft tyre, so I want him to use that as we go down the inside of George Russell here at the hairpin. Can we get the move done? Yes, we do. We get past the Red Bull. But like I said before, I want Gasly to get a move on because he's on the soft tyres and a bit of a disadvantage strategy starting so far back, and also he's got more pace than P9, therefore he should get past the McLarens and the Racing Points and maybe even Bottas and the Mercedes. So hopefully he can make some progress, and I'll try not to disturb him too much, hence why I'm going to kind of be his rear gunner in this first part of the race. Keep cars off the back of him as we've got Russell on the back of us, and hopefully he can move forward. He's already at the back of that McLaren of Sainz, so hopefully he can get past him relatively quickly. I've got Russell for company here, but other than that, it's looking pretty good so far, into the top 10, which is what we want, as Sainz goes defensive. Hopefully we can follow Gasly through when he makes the overtakes, that would be ideal. As we go to lap 2, and Russell right on my gearbox here. Let's turn the engine up just to respond. He is gaining though, so we're going to have to go defensive as Gasly goes down the inside of Sainz. Russell hits the back of me there. Not sure what George Russell's doing, but he might have lost an end plate as a consequence. As Gasly and Sainz go side by side, and Gasly can't quite get past just yet. I can't quite tell if Russell's got damage on. I don't think he has, but he did hit the back of me into turn 1 there, so quite a weird move from Russell as Gasly tries, but again fails to get past the McLaren. Let's hope he can get past soon though, because we need to push on here as a team and get higher into the points. There goes Gasly. This time he might be getting the move done. Down the inside of the final corner. They're both side by side. But I think with DRS now, Gasly should get the move done. George Russell looking for a move behind me. I'm going to try and use the slipstream.
DRS is now enabled and will be available to use when you are within 1 second of the car ahead in the DRS zone.
Russell behind us trying to look for a move as DRS is now enabled. Who's going to get DRS in front of us here as we take a big chunk out of turn 2. Looks like Sainz has actually got DRS, but Gasly doesn't care. He's going to put the move on him anyway. Will he get past this time? Looks like he will. I think he has. I think he's got it done this time. Pierre Gasly past Carlos Sainz, or this, sorry, Kimi Räikkönen actually. And he gets through. There you go, job done. I'm going to go down the inside and follow him through. A little bit of contact there as Kimi tries to turn in on me, but we managed to barge our way through. Luckily no damage. A little bit of a lock up there, but we'll get under control as we now move up to 9th place. Let's follow Gasly here and try and keep up with the pace of the race. Let's push on a little bit. A nice bit of clean air to attack. Russell might go for a move here. I'm pushing hard, 29.6. I'm running high engine modes. Russell was looking for the move, but not close enough. So we'll stay in front for now, but there's another DRS zone coming right up after turns 3 and 4. Oh, sorry, 2 and 3. Luckily we get a good exit and Russell drops back. So far so good, guys. He's not running away, and that front pack is looking very fast. Two Ferraris leading the way at the moment, and they're not really putting away. So as a consequence, Gasly's catching up quite nicely, and so are we. I think Russell's going to get past here quite easily. He's turned his engine up, and he's really going for it. We're going to defend the inside, show him the long way round. I think we'll pick up the DRS. Yes, we do. Will Russell have it though, or will he? Somehow will we share it? No, we don't. We're going to get DRS, so we're going to get the chance here to get back past. Here we go. We're gaining. We're going to go to the inside. Kimi Räikkönen is gaining behind us here. We're going to just cover the inside, stay on the apex as Räikkönen He's back up the inside of Russell, and that's beautiful for us. That's going to help us out a treat. Turn the engine up here as we go up towards turn 4, just be safe. And there we go, job done. We stay in front. As Raikkonen does get back past Russell, it seems. Or is trying to anyway.
Alright, we expect these tyres to be good for a while yet. Just be careful with them in the high-speed corners.
Yep, don't worry, I'm on it, mate. Looks like Gasly's joined up to the leading pack pretty much now. And we've got to try and join him. But we're looking good in this race. If we go for the one stop, we're looking very good. Yellow flag. Seemingly behind. So at least it's not Gasly. Or is it Gasly? It's in front of us now. Not Gasly again. Surely not. Okay, I think it's behind us. Carlos Sainz in the McLaren. First retirement of the race. No VSCO safety car, it seems. Bit of debris at the apex of turn 1 there. Looks like a racing point, end plate, from what I could tell. I guess we'll find out now if someone drops off the pace. Okay, Gasly pits in. Early stop.
Pierre is in for his stop.
Along with Sebastian Vettel. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen has hit the front and he's starting to set the pace now. Got to try and keep up our pace here. This tyre doesn't feel great though. Overall, the car doesn't feel that great this weekend compared to Australia. I think that's obvious by the qualifying result. But let's just keep at it, because we can make this a good race. A few more cars pit in, including Raikkonen behind us. Race leader Max Verstappen also pits in, so we're now up to 4th place on this one-stop strategy. Looking pretty good so far. So the racing point of Magnussen seems to be struggling, so it's probably his car that's got the end plate damage, I presume. Important laps for us now that we've got to try and pick up the pace. Ricciardo's hanging in there on mediums in the Alfa Romeo behind us, so we've got to try and watch out for him. He's going to be on the same strategy as me, but our strategy's working out pretty nice at the moment. The pace is okay, not great, but okay. I've definitely had better years at Bahrain in career mode. I'm struggling more than I have done in the past, but it can still be a good race. We can still make it a good one if the hard tyre is a good race tyre, which I'm hoping it is. Okay, now Bottas pits along with Sergio Perez. Magnussen stays up for one more. Here comes Ricciardo though, who's really approaching me with some rapid speed. We're going to have to defend the inside. We're going to hold the inside a little bit hot on the brakes, but we do manage to keep him behind. Ricciardo's going to keep the pressure on though. All the way up to turn 4, up the hill. Let's hold the inside. I'm way hot. I've overcooked that massively. Ricciardo goes through. Awful driving from me there. Absolutely awful. Just really struggling with the car here. I'm not happy with it at all. Let's try and stay on the back end of the Alpha and maybe try and re-overtake him, possibly. Right, let's return the favour. Let's get some payback. Magnussen will pit in, so that's going to release myself and Ricciardo. Just re-overtake the Honey Badger here. Here we go.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the hards.
Ricciardo's got some serious straight line speed, but we are going to go down the inside. Huge lock up. I can't stop locking up at the moment, which is really frustrating me. A little bit of contact there. We have to go off the track. That's going to allow Ricciardo to get back past us here. Around the outside. This time we don't overcook it on the brakes, we keep it on the apex. Ricciardo looking for the switchback. He's right there, but we're going to just keep in front for now. He had a look down the inside, but it didn't quite work out for him. Good scrap so far. Oh, we get loose on the curb. That's going to send me wide. This is a really rare, scruffy race for me here. I'm really struggling to find any kind of pace or balance in the car. Just not enjoying it one bit. Normally I actually quite enjoy the race in Bahrain, and I'm actually quite decent with race pace, but not this year. We're struggling big time, and I don't know what it is. Even with the new and improved Williams, we're just not finding the pace. I keep locking up at every corner, but if I turn down the brake bias, I just feel like I'm not slowing down the car that much. I'm going to try again, but there's just no real performance in the car. It's going to be a battle, I think, between me and Ricciardo to the finish. Having said that, the hard tyre has been a good tyre for me, better than the medium. So hopefully that's the case in the next stint. Here comes Ricciardo again, though. We're going to have to pretty much defend and try and stay in front. As we get closer to our pit window, lap 13, we're 2 laps away now. Here we go, Ricciardo's going to try and go for the re-overtake. We've got to try and stay in front. The Alpha's got a lot of straight line speed though. He's going to go to the outside. How late can he brake? Oh my god, Ricciardo just completely turned into me there. Somehow I didn't get wing damage, but I should have just backed out. Again, really scruffy driving from me. Ricciardo takes first place again. Let's try and follow him. Alright then, let's try and get back past Ricciardo here. We're a little bit further back this time. Will we have enough? I don't think we might.
We're boxing this lap. Give us the best in lap you can.
We're gaining, but it's not enough. Another big lock up. Hopefully we can get the exit though out of turns 2 and 3. And put the pressure on up to turn 4. Ricciardo does get good traction. Trying to gain here. Ricciardo does defend. On the switchback. Can we get anything power down? Not quite. This is a good scrap, can't lie, but this is really not what I expected in this race, battling an Alfa Romeo. Down the inside, contact again. As we lock up, I can't stop locking up. Right, we're going to pit in. We've kept Ricciardo behind. Let's just try and beat him to the pit entry, and then hopefully our pit crew will do the rest. Into the pit box we go. Onto the pit lane, should I say. There we go, that's a good entry. Hulkenberg's going to follow us in. There goes Verstappen. So he's going to push on in this race, as does the Ferrari, and also Albon there on mediums as well. The Toro Rosso staying out. Really good stop from the boys here. Come on.
Go, go, go. You'll be racing on the exit. Go, go now.
Good stop. The Williams are the best in the game, and we actually put away from Ricciardo a little bit there. Up to speed now.
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
Looks like the Racing Point is going to challenge us into the brake zone, but we're going to stay in front of Ricciardo for now on the hard tyres. Hopefully this is a much better race tyre. I can't stop locking up, which is really frustrating me, so hopefully we can improve on that in this stint. We're going to keep the brake bars in 56. Hopefully it pays dividends. I've already tweaked the differential, so there's not much I can do in terms of in the car. So I just got to hope that things improve, because I need to brake. I can't not brake for the corner, but I can't stop locking up, and it's really frustrating. But hopefully this is a better tyre for us racing today. Right, cars in the pit lane. The remaining medium tyre runners. So up to P12 we go. A huge battle in front. Hopefully they pit in before we get involved, because we're going to lose a lot of time battling those guys. Could be in trouble here. Ricciardo and Magnussen queuing up behind to make a move. I'm going to defend the inside. Ricciardo goes the long way around. The reason I defended that is because I didn't need to, but the AI, when they commit to an inside line or they're accidentally defending from the car behind, they tend to outbrake themselves and run very deep. Therefore, accidentally turning their defensive maneuver into an attack. Therefore, you have to just protect yourself at all times and cover the inside. I still ain't got no pace, unfortunately. This tyre's not working for me. I'm nowhere near a personal best, and I'm still locking up. Grosjean pits off the hard tyres. Hamilton in the pit lane as well as we set a personal best. Starting to push now a little bit, and Ricciardo's dropping away as Magnussen goes for the overtake. Magnussen's hard, so he's going to the end on those tyres. So after his initial struggles, he's going to be going to the end on those, so we're going to have to race him for position. I thought he was two-stopping, but he's not, so it's important that we've now opened up a window. We've got over a second gap on Magnussen, which is good. Let's try and keep it that way.
Okay, some information on Raikkonen. They seem to have an issue.
Okay, that's fine. That's going to help us out a little bit, I think. He was kind of battling us before, and he's the car up the road. But he is on a two-stop, so it's not really much of a... He wasn't much of a threat. As a matter of fact, he actually pits in along with the rest of the soft tyre runners.
We pretty much burned off our excess fuel. We'll be back on target soon. Don't wait too long to turn the engine down.
Another personal best. There's Verstappen, the net race leader, so he's actually managed to overcut us by staying out. That's how slow we've been this race, that he's had 3 laps on all softs and overcut us, which is unfortunate, but it is the reality. This race is all about damage limitation, and the next one, and the one after that, to be honest. Okay, we've got more cars in the pit lane, including George Russell, Pierre Gasly, and also another Ferrari as well. So we're going to jump up briefly to a podium position, up to 3rd place in this race, which I believe is actually a net P2. So we are on for a podium finish as it stands. Whether we can finish there or not remains to be seen. There's a long way to go in this race, 10 laps to go, and everybody behind us on mediums pretty much. So it's going to be a long but intense final stint here. Magnussen's holding on at the minute. He's keeping that 3rd place. He's keeping that Ferrari behind, but it's not going to last much longer. Also, he's now on the back of me here, The good news is my pace has picked up a little bit. I've managed to improve a bit and find some more lap time. It seems like I'm starting to hit a bit of a rhythm. That was turn 1. Magnussen looking down the inside while he defends, but again, he keeps the throw behind for a bit longer. That's good news for us. As every lap goes by, I'm liking my chances of getting a podium this race, even though it hasn't been one of them races. But we're just hanging in there a minute. It's working out okay. I'd like to know who's in first place, because I can't really think who it is right now. And it's really baffling me. But my pace is getting better and better each lap. We're starting to go faster and faster. Feels like Magnussen's turned his engine up a little bit this lap. I think he could get past. We've got to be careful to not concede both positions. Another personal best. We go defensive to the inside, but Magnussen is flying on those straights with that racing point. And he gets well ahead even before the brake zone. Hopefully I can return the favour though. Up towards turn 4 and get back past. Good exit from us on the switchback. We're right in his gearbox. We're going to go to the inside line. There we go. Make it a simple pass. Got a bit hot on the brakes again there. We've managed to just not run as deep, but Magnussen still gets a switchback on us. Let's keep the switchback moving as we go into the S's. Let's stay tucked in underneath. I thought about going down the inside there, but we're not close enough. I don't want to lose my end plate at this stage of the race, so we'll just follow him for now. Hopefully I can repass with DRS. This is the corner that I hate the most. I'm so bad through here. The AI is so much better than me. Both braking late and accelerating beautifully. Let's just stay tucked into his gearbox and we'll try and pass him on the pit straight again. Here we go, let's repass Magnussen here. I've got 2 Ferraris on my tail now, so they're both right behind me. Let's try and get past the racing point. Leclerc's very close, he's got the run. But we're starting to really bring in that racing point on the straight. We're maxing out our top end speed here. Down the inside, nice tidy overtake, no locking up this time. That's more like it. And we get DRS for the next straight as well for good measure. That's a nice tidy overtake there on Magnussen, exactly what we wanted. That's a lap stick over, I'm liking this, we've got a good chance of holding on. It seems like the racing point that's in first place is not pitting. We set a 28.4, a really strong lap there, with some DRS of course, but still a good lap nonetheless. But that racing point in first place is not pitting. I wonder if it's somehow one-stopped and leapfrogged itself into the lead. Perez pulling off an absolute madness on the strategy front. If that's the case, we're battling 4 cars here for this 3rd place, so we're going to have to buckle up because it could get tasty. Because I don't think Perez is going to pit now. You know, last 5 laps, it's rare that an AI car pits this late, so it does look like Perez has pulled off a worldly one-stop and has undercut everybody and pulled off a worldly strategy. Oh, it's a bad lock-up. I managed to get it into the corner though, but Magnussen's turned his engine up here. He's going to get the run on me.
Engine mode much longer. We're about a lap over target. Drop down to mix 2 soon.
Oh, he comes right in front of me in the brake zone, but we managed to just sit behind him. The Ferraris as well swap positions behind us. They're battling away amongst each other.
There's 4 laps of fuel remaining.
Around the outside. Do we have the grip? Yes, we do. Job done. And that is a beautiful retake of 3rd place. We're hanging in there. We can do this. Oh, yellow flag behind.
Green flag.
I think it's a Mercedes. Oh, that's horrible. I'm struggling through this so much. I've got no grip whatsoever. Actually, no, it's not. It's Pierre Gasly. I can't believe it. Again.
2 laps of fuel remaining.
Honestly, that second Williams is glitched. I'm convinced at this point. Every time Gasly's in the points, something happens. It's unbelievable. It's actually starting to trigger me now. Because we're never going to win the Constructors if this keeps happening. I'm really struggling now. When Magnussen turns his engine up, it's game over. You can tell. Right, my gearbox already here. We're going to cover the inside nice and early, but it's going to be pointless. Here comes the Ferrari though. They're lurking. I'm going to try and defend here. 2 laps to go. Huge lock up, but Magnussen again trying to, taking the risk of turning in on me. That could backfire. Up towards turn 4. We're quite far back this time. I don't think I'm going to be able to re-challenge. So we just have to sit behind him for now with 2 laps to go. Can we just follow him and maybe repass him? We've got to be careful with this. This is risky because he might pull away, and I want that podium. we go down onto the last lap of the race. Let's get past Magnussen and retake that podium position at the final corner. Nice clean exit. Not the best one, but good enough. Here we go, DRS, we're going to get past him. His engine's turned down, it's not as high as it once was. You can tell the difference as we walk past and retake the position. Turn 1 down to the apex with the lock up. There we go. Right, let's turn the engine up now. Let's pull away. Let's try and run away from these guys and secure the bag. Right then. In towards the end of sector 2. Good lap so far. That first sector with the overtake was so good. We actually set a purple first sector. Just got to try and finish the lap strongly. Use up the rest of our fuel in ERS as Perez is going to win. Surprise winner there.
Less than a lap of fuel now. The tank is empty.
That win came from absolutely nowhere, and Perez, I believe, making the one-stop work in the Racing Point. Overall, both Racing Points are quick around power circuits. As you can tell, Magnussen behind us, but we are going to come through though, and after a miserable race, it is still third place and a podium. Get in.
Well done, good finish. You stepped up and achieved what we asked. Good job.
A victory for Racing Point, and the team will certainly be celebrating tonight. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
I think the key here was just the quality of the racecraft, you know. I mean, how many overtakes did they make overall? I'm sure we have a stat person keeping score somewhere, and it was fantastic to watch, wasn't it? This is a strategic sport at the end of the day, but it's always really gratifying to see close-fought battles on track. It's what all the fans are after.
Racing Point's performance today has shown that they can be competitive with the veterans of the sport. They're making their way out to the podium now as we speak, and the reaction from the crowd must be incredibly uplifting for them.
Right, so looking at the final race results, Sergio Perez wins for Racing Point here today, beating Max Verstappen on the one-stop strategy. Max going for the 2 and it ultimately backfired because it was his race to win and Red Bull just threw it away on that strategy. He did pick up the fast lap though, so he gets an extra point as we round off the podium and bring home a third place. And in a race where we didn't have the pace, the car was honestly, it just felt horrible. And also my personal driving was just not on point, it just wasn't there. We still managed to claw a podium, and that is a sign of a good race, you know, and also making the most of a bad situation and maximising the points. Magnussen P4 in the second Racing Point, making it a very strong weekend for them, and expect Racing Point on every power circuit to be there or thereabouts. You know, for example, the next race in China, they could be there. Baku, they're definitely going to be up there. In Baku, they're going to be probably the team to beat, to be honest. And then Spa, Monza, you know, those kind of tracks. Austria as well. But yeah, overall, third place for us and a 1-4 for Racing Point. Ferrari only 5th and 6th with both Ferraris there. Sebastian Vettel beating Charles Leclerc. Lewis Hamilton P7 after starting from first place. Poor result for him. But then again, the Mercedes isn't the best car this season. Then you got Ricciardo in 8th, who we was battling earlier on. But in the end, we managed to put a few cars between us. Hulkenberg and Russell scored the final points with Albon just missing out. And then we've got Norris, Giovinazzi, Kvyat, Raikkonen, Bottas, Stroll, Grosjean, and then Gasly and Sainz retiring from the Grand Prix. And Pierre Gasly again. I don't know what to say. I'm really starting to believe there's something wrong with the coding in this game, or there's a glitch, because how is it that the second car can never get in the points? You know, it just doesn't make any sense. But either way, in terms of the standings, we are still in first place by 1 point over Sergio Perez there. So we're just holding on to that first place, and ultimately our fastest lap at Melbourne is proving to be crucial to keep us ahead of the Mexican driver. Max in third place, and you know, that's kind of the top 3 at the moment. Sebastian Vettel a little bit further back in the Ferrari. But in terms of the constructors, we dropped from first to third. Unfortunately for us, Racing Point the strongest team at the moment, and both of their drivers scoring consistent points, and Red Bull in second place. But you know, like I said before, I'm getting frustrated with these retirements now and these issues with the second car, because if the second car is not scoring points, we're not going to win the constructors, and that's really, really irritating. So yeah, overall guys, that's going to be it for this episode of Career Mode here today at Bahrain. We're not going to do any upgrades just yet. We're going to save some points and probably invest for the Spanish Grand Prix. But if you guys enjoyed this video, drop a like, and also get subscribed if you are new for daily Formula 1 content, and also turn on notifications to not miss any videos from me, and also finally check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.